Think you're safe using your card?
Yeah.
Why are you holding it down so hard? Look,
Think again.
it's literally a scanner.
In a world where every swipe could be your last, this woman uncovers a hidden menace lurking in plain sight.
Don't use your cards in places like this. They're trying to steal your information.
These aren't just gadgets, they're weapons, tools of a high-stakes game where your money is the prize. Who's orchestrating these heists? How do they steal millions without leaving a trace? And could you be the next target? Tonight, we're pulling back the curtain on the shadowy world of card skimmers and reveal measures you can take to keep your stashed cash safe and sound. Because what you don't know could cost you everything. Chip and pin was developed back in the 90s when bands like Oasis were at large and payphones were still a thing. The technology was a collaboration between Europay, MasterCard, and Visa, collectively known as EMV. The first widespread implementation of chip and pin was in France, the land of the baguette and fin au vin, with the UK and other countries soon to follow. The system was created to boost the security of card transactions by requiring a microchip in the card and a PIN number to go with it. And what does PIN stand for? Correct! Personal Identification Number. You get a cookie. And not an internet cookie. A delicious chocolate chip cookie, rich in flavour and fresh from the oven. This, in theory, would make it harder for crooks with bad haircuts to steal card information. Harder, but not impossible, as millions of people soon found out. So, how do they do it? Card skimmers tend to come in pairs of two devices. A scanner that captures your card information, and then a camera or key logger that records your PIN as you punch it into that greasy, dusty, horrible, awful, smelly chip and pin keypad. These skimmers are either slapped onto or placed inside of card readers, like the chip and pin devices you find at ATMs or gas station pumps. So when a card is swiped or inserted, the skimmer captures the information stored on that card, like its number, expiration date, and sometimes even the cardholder's name. A recipe for disaster. This, sadly, has led to us running our fingers all over urinated cash machines for any suspicious electronics, or awkwardly shielding our pin pads from any would-be cameras lurking about. But that's not the half of it. It wasn't long before criminals ditched their cameras for fake keypads to get around people covering their pins.
What do we have here? A skimmer. Wow. Crazy.
So, who's actually behind these heists? Skimmers are mostly used by organised crime gangs, from the big syndicates to the smaller, indie criminals, targeting places like the ones you've seen in this video. But why do they do it? No, it's not to buy the latest Jordans or Chanel bag. Well, not yet anyway. It goes way deeper than that. There's a whole market out there on the dark web for stolen card information.
So I buy your credit card information on the dark web for $10, all right? For that $10, I get your card number. I get the expiration date, 3-digit security code. I get your address, your name. Now, you can use that immediately for $500 to $1,000 worth of product. All right, so not a bad haul for $10.
Before a buyer can get away with actual cash, they first need to go on a spending spree with the stolen card, buying up items with a high resale value so that they can flog them in the shortest time possible. They do this by either using the card online or making physical copies of it to use in stores, as demonstrated here. The process involves using an alcohol gel to remove any ink on the dummy card, and then embossing it with the details they bought on the dark web. It's also not uncommon for it to be accompanied by a fake ID to match the cardholder's name. Once they've got the goods, it's time to sell. Facebook, eBay, and other online marketplaces is one way to do it, but they all risk leaving a paper trail leading to the crooks' bank accounts. So, they opt in for a more discreet route. Sell to other criminal organizations, like drug dealers, who deal in cold hard cash. So, what's the solution to all this? Well, the obvious thing would be to put down the card and to use cold hard cash. But let's be honest, cold hard cash comes with cold hard change, and no one likes walking around with pockets full of shrapnel now, do they? If only there was a company out there with pockets deep enough to solve this problem once and for all. A company that thinks big. A company that thinks different.
Here's to the crazy ones.
This is iMac. Today, we're introducing 3 revolutionary products in this class. The first one is a widescreen iPod with touch controls. The second is a revolutionary mobile phone.
And while some may see them as the crazy ones,
Hello, I'm a Mac.
And I'm a PC.
This is exactly what Apple does best. And so we've created an entirely new payment process, and we call it Apple Pay.
A big day for Apple. The company is hoping to revolutionize the way we pay for everything, launching its new Apple Pay this morning.
Now, we've got a lot more to go. We've got a lot of merchants to sign up. We've got a lot more banks to sign up. And we have the whole rest of the world. We're only in the US right now.
That sunny outlook seems like it's finally come to pass.
I get 2% cash back on everything that I use Apple Pay for.
The part so far is that Apple Pay does save transaction time.
The company that once led the way in personal computing and mobile phones decided it was time for a new challenge: to kill the credit card, and they were going to do it using the iPhone. Apple Pay launched on the 20th of October 2014 and had its fair share of both skepticism and enthusiasm. But, as these things go, it's now established itself as the norm, and it didn't take long for the likes of Google and Amazon to jump on the bandwagon. So what makes Apple Pay different from using the standard bank card? Each time you use Apple Pay, you're essentially paying with a one-time virtual card, a token that carries all the necessary data required to authenticate a transaction.
Sorry mate, once more, but in the King's English. Cheers.
Basically, your actual bank card is never used when paying with your phone. Instead, a unique virtual card number, known as a token, is generated for the transaction. This token can only be used in a specific context, and often just the once. So even if it is captured, cloning it would be a wasted effort. And if that wasn't enough, you've got the added layer of security. Your face, or fingerprint, or phone pin.
So does that mean I'm 100% safe using my phone?
Of course not, you silly sausage. You might be flashing your phone at every vendor around the big city, but suffice it to say, there's a whole world outside the borders of the big smoke, and eventually you'll need to use a card. Additionally, if there's one thing crooks are good at, it's adapting to their environment, like mold. And if they can't steal your card, well, they'll just steal your phone instead. Instead of hanging around ATMs and card machines, crooks are heading to spots where people are likely to be drunk or intoxicated, paying close attention to PIN numbers whenever a phone is unlocked and making off with the device. Once they've got the phone, the Apple ID password is changed and Find My iPhone is turned off. From that point, it's the same play as before. Spend as much cash as you can, as fast as you can. And phone theft isn't just limited to bars or pubs either. Brazen thieves are taking to the streets on illegal e-bikes, borderline motorcycles snatching phones straight out of the hands of innocent victims. This is particularly bad in the UK. According to a report by the Metropolitan Police, over 100,000 phones were reported stolen in 2023, with only around 2,000 of them being recovered. It seems no matter who you are, where you go, or what you do, the threat of a would-be robber looking to get their hands on your cash is constantly lurking around the corner. So, what can we do to stop them from getting away with all this? Or at least, make it easier for us to get our stuff back? Well, you can prevent your phone from disappearing off-grid by disabling Control Center when it's locked. This means whoever steals your phone needs to unlock it before they can turn airplane mode on. You can also disable Wallet when locked for an added layer of security. This obviously won't stop your phone from being stolen, but can help buy you some time to track it down and get it back. The world is full of criminals looking to take advantage of people who play by the rules, and the injustice of having decades of savings stolen from you in a matter of seconds doesn't just leave you feeling robbed by a heartless criminal, but feeling betrayed by a broken system too. I wanted to say a massive thank you to everyone who helped build this channel, especially to those who shared their stories and experiences in the comments. It's comforting to know so many of us have endured similar hardships and that we're not alone. I also want to continue making short documentaries like this in future, so whether you're prepping dinner in the kitchen, chillaxing in the shower, or nodding off to a bit of YouTube, you can always rely on this silly old voice to be right there with you. Thanks for watching.